Strong Roots Academy. This is cycle 3, week 15. We started off with geography, and for geography we were learning about the U.S. Great Lakes, and we had a song to the tune of Home on the Range, because it spelled out that memory device homes, and so this song went along with that, and we just sang the song and we pointed to the different Great Lakes, and then I had them color in with a blue marker the different lakes as we talked about them. Next we went to math, and for math we talked about metric measurements, and I wanted to let them know that the US is one of the very few countries in the world that does not have the metric system as their official system for measurements. So I just kind of wanted to emphasize that like the whole rest of the world is using metric measurements, but the US is not. So I printed off these little worksheets, and I had them color in all of the countries throughout the whole world except for the US. And so we did that, and we had a song that I picked out on CC Connected that we sang. And so that's all we did for math. Moving on to Latin, we're continuing with the song by King Things, and we're doing ASL hand motions for that. So I will go ahead and show you the different hand motions that we did. So omnia means all or all things. So for omnia or all, you just kind of scoop around with your right hand and then you put it face up in your left hand. So omnia or all. Things were made, so this is made by him. So I will go ahead and sing it in Latin and then in English. And in Latin, it says omnia per ipsum. So per ipsum is by him. In facta sunt is were made. So it's reversed in Latin and English. So it's a little tricky with the hand motions, but you just got to pay attention. So omnia per ipsum facta sunt. All things were made by him. So that's all we did for Latin. Moving on to science, we were doing the atom. What is an atom? And I showed them a visual of an atom in an elements book that I have. And then I also drew this little visual for them to see on my board. And I think it might be backwards for you guys, but this is what it looked like. And I kind of color coded like the different parts of an atom. So the nucleus was orange, the protons were yellow, the electrons were green. And I just gave them a pointer, and I let each student come up and take turns pointing to the different parts of an atom as we sang a song that I found on CC Connected. So we just kind of nucleus, protons, electrons, quarks, leptons, and neutrons. So they could just match the color to the word that we were singing about. So yeah, that was fun. And then for history, we were talking about the immigrants that came to America. And I really like to let the kids act out the history sentences if we can. And this one kind of lended itself to being acted out. So I had them row their boats across the ocean. So they just made a lap around the table, and then they came back to see me, and I gave them some fake Monopoly money, and I gave them a little, let me see if I can get one out here. I gave them a little US flag toothpick, and I just said, "Welcome to America." So they liked that, and these toothpicks were really cheap on Amazon. I think they were just a couple bucks as an add-on item. So I think there's 100 of them. So I've used them quite a bit this year already. So I think it's worth the $2 investment, but it was fun. They liked it, and we talked about why the immigrants came to America, and a lot of them were seeking wealth, and so that's why we did the Monopoly money. So that was fun. And then for English, we were conjugating to write, and I gave each each kid a little whiteboard, and I wrote out the conjugation on the board, and then I just had them use a different color marker to trace the words as we sang through a song that I chose on CC Connected. So I don't think any of them actually were able to finish tracing, even though we did do the song 7 times. It was just a lot for my little ones, for my 4 to 6 year olds. A lot of them are just learning to kind of write, and so it took a lot of concentration, but I think they enjoyed it. So that's what we did for English. For timeline, I think this was the second week in a row that we did not get to timeline. So next week I'm really going to try hard to fit it in. We do go through it several times with our whole campus in the morning, so if I have to cut something, then I always cut timeline, but it's still good to do it a few times in class as well. So next week I'm going to make a commitment to make sure I get timeline in. For hands-on science, we talked about probability, and we were doing the pizza shop, which was really fun. The kids really enjoyed talking about pizza and what kind of toppings they liked on their pizza. And so we started off with those 3 choices that they list in the book. We did extra cheese because we're like, every pizza has cheese on it, unless you're like dairy free, like I had to be for a while. But yeah, normally pizza has cheese on it. So we did extra cheese, pepperoni, and sausage. And so we just listed those out and then talked about the different combinations that we could make, which was only 7 different combinations. And then our director found these really cute little papers that had pizzas on them, like just a crust with the sauce. And then and then there were sticker sheets, and they had all sorts of different toppings like green pepper and onion and pepperoni and olives, mushrooms. And so what I did is I had the kids pick one topping at a time. So like I just said, okay, pick your topping out and put all of that topping on your pizza. So some of them picked pepperoni, some picked bell pepper, and then I just went around the room and I wrote down what each kid chose. And then we did it with the second topping, and I wrote down all those combinations, and then a third topping, and we just kept going through. I think there were like 7 or 8 different toppings, and so it ended up being a lot of different combinations at the end, so they could really see how by adding all those toppings, the combinations just, really grew. So they really enjoyed making their little pizzas with their stickers, and they got to take them home. And so that was definitely a big hit for hands-on science. Next we did fine arts, and this was a really fun project. We were doing Georgia O'Keeffe. She is like one of my favorite artists. I love her work, and so it was really fun to be able to talk about her work. And it says in the Great Artist book that she was even discouraged from being an artist from some of her teachers, and so we talked about that because a lot of my kids they're just really self-conscious about their art, and so I wanted to encourage them that Georgia O'Keeffe became this wonderful, great artist, and so don't let anybody discourage you from doing what you want to do, and if you enjoy doing it, then that's what matters. And so we talked about that, but we also talked about her work, and I showed lots of examples. And our director had purchased a lot of fresh flowers, all different kinds, so it smelled amazing when we walked in. And she also got watercolors. So they each had a piece of watercolor paper, and they chose a flower, and then they painted it with their watercolors. And the kids really liked this project, and I tried to emphasize that a lot of her work was really zoomed in, and it went all the way to the frame of the paper. So they did a great job. Like, even though they're just 4 to 6 year olds, like some of them were just excellent. I mean, all of them were great, but yeah, I think they really enjoyed that project a lot. After that, we did just our review time, and another mom in my class had made this really cool Jeopardy like pocket chart. The different like index cards just slide into the little pocket chart, and she did different colors for the different subjects, 100 through 500, and and we played Jeopardy. And we tried this last year and it didn't work out very well because we had teams and the kids were like wanting to change to different teams, and the losing team was kind of being sore losers, and it was just kind of a mess. So I decided I'm not going to do any more team things for the 4 to 6 year olds. They just can't handle it. And I have boys. I have 7 boys. So they're already like super competitive. So it just, yeah, team things don't work out real well. So instead we played parents versus kids. And that was a lot of fun for them. They really enjoyed playing against their parents, and the kids actually won, which was amazing. So the parents, I think, were going a little easy on them because they were picking a lot of 100s, but my kids are smart, so they did awesome and beat the parents. So that was really fun, and we'll probably do that again. So yeah, that was week 15. So thanks for watching.